Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is Daryl D. You're now tuned in to Daryl D TV. Just taking a nice little stroll this morning in this cool air. I'm still out here in Michigan for another few weeks. Heading back to the desert any day now. Story time. Now, I've actually shared this story on one or two other platforms, but I thought I would put this on my YouTube page because it's a pretty cool story. It's about the time, or one of the many times, I got to kind of meet some of my rap superheroes, Public Enemy, and this was back in, what year was this? I think it was 2008. I have to check the flyer. But I'm at work one day, and my homeboy Chino D calls me up, and he says, hey man, Public Enemy is going to be at Atomic Comics. You know, this comic book shop that was at the mall, Metro Center. And I'm like, yeah, right. I didn't hear anything about it too much. I do know that Public Enemy was in town that night for a concert. They were touring, and X-Clan was opening up for them. So I knew that they were going to be in town, but, you know, them appearing at a comic book shop, that didn't sound, too realistic to me anyway. So he's like, yeah, they're going to be there at this time or whatever. I was kind of skeptical, but, I had to be sure because, I'm a rap fan, I should say. And so I left work early and I packed a bag. Now, I've always had pretty much every Public Enemy record and lots of Public Enemy collectibles and whatnot. So I packed a bag, and I had like a few, Public Enemy records. I had the Public Enemy action figures already at the time, so I grabbed those. And I don't know what else I grabbed. I know I had, some action figures and some records to get signed. Grabbed a bunch of markers, and I headed off to the comic book shop. So when I pulled up, the comic book shop was like in a strip mall that was like right next to the regular mall. And when I pulled into the driveway, the comic book shop is at the end of the strip mall. So next to the actual comic shop is like an open lot, just to the side of the store. And in that lot, when I pulled up, there was a DJ set up. There was a stage out there, and there was like probably about 40 people just hanging around. So that's when I really knew, okay, this is actually happening. I guess they are gonna be here. So I walk over, and I see a few people I know, and we're talking and mingling or whatever, and nobody seems to know what's really going on as far as exactly when they're gonna get there and whatnot. So just hanging out, you know what I'm saying? Hanging out, catching up with some of the homies and whatnot. Chino D shows up, and so after a while I go, you know what, I'm gonna go inside the comic book shop and see what's happening inside there. So I go inside, and there's like a bunch of people in line already in the comic book shop. I was probably like maybe number 50 or 60 in line already. There was at least that many people. And so I thought, well, this is real. You can see tables, a couple tables at the front of the store. And I'm like towards the back of the store, standing in line. So I figured I better just stay here, because they'll be here at any minute, I guess, or they'll be here soon. So I'm just hanging out, and a lot of people, and as I'm as I'm standing there and I'm kind of ear hustling and I'm listening to some of these people talk, and then I'm looking at the kind of people that are in this line, and most of them didn't look like they were Public Enemy type of people, if you know what I mean. They didn't look like they were rap fans. Not at all. They certainly didn't look like they were into black revolutionary music. It wasn't that kind of crowd in there. So then I realized, oh, okay. Most of the people in that line with me were there to see Flavor Flav, because at the time, I don't know if it was that Flavor Love TV show or one of them other so-called reality shows was popular at the time. So a lot of those people weren't even there to see Public Enemy. They were there just to see Flavor Flav, which kind of irritated me, because I'm like, man, you guys should be somewhere else. Wait until Flavor Flav, makes an appearance somewhere, promoting his show or something. Why you in here? Why you in my way? So anyway, eventually Public Enemy arrives and they walk in the store. Now what I understand is the stage was back there because they were going to do a little performance at some point that evening. So they sit down and get comfortable, and they're basically signing autographs and taking pictures with people and doing real quick interviews, and it seemed to be taking an awful long time, but every now and then, what was really cool is every now and then one of the S1Ws would come walking down, the line, and they would tell everybody, hey, thanks for your patience, and don't worry, we're gonna get to everybody. Don't even trip. Nobody will be left out. Real nice, cool dudes. And eventually I made my way up to the front of the line, and I had them, I can't remember if I had them sign everything at once or if I caught them at different times. Knowing me, I probably caught them at different times. And usually, it's my record that I want to get signed, more than anything else. So anyway, I got some autographs and stuff. I know the other thing is, the reason why they were at the comic book shop, which I didn't know until I actually got there, is that their comic book, Public Enemy put out a comic book back then, and they had just released it. And I guess they were hitting a lot of comic shops back in those days. So, of course, I picked up the comic books, but it was the actual records and action figures that I had signed. And then there was a flyer for that event, and I got that signed as well. So they must have signed autographs for maybe, I don't know, 150 people at the time. And then they stopped and because they were going to go outside and perform. And so the S1Ws, they come by and they tell the people that were still in line, I had gotten my autographs by then, and they say, hey, we're going to take a break. We're going to do this performance, and then we're going to come back after the performance, and we're going to finish signing autographs and taking pictures or whatnot, and we're going to get to everybody, so don't worry. So they go outside and they perform, and man, it's incredible because you're like right there up on them, Public Enemy, man. And everybody was there, and Griff was there, which I had never met Griff until that point. And so we go outside, and as we're watching them perform, I'm off to like stage left, if you will, and there's Brother Jay from X-Clan. Now, I'm the biggest X-Clan fan in the world. Saw them when they first came out. Got all their records and all of that. It was like a really cool experience, and I'm telling them about how when I first saw them in Milwaukee at the African World Festival, back when their album had dropped, and he was like, yeah, that's we were making moves with Michael McGee back then. Michael McGee was a black revolutionary brother out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and he made a lot of moves, you know, just trying to attain black justice, black liberty, and black power in Milwaukee, my hometown. So yeah, me and Brother Jay got to chop it up, and I had his record with me too, just in case, and he signed you know, the Funkin' Lesson, I believe, the Funkin' Lesson 12-inch that I brought with me. Man, that was so cool. So Public Enemy is performing, and after their performance, then Flavor Flav performed solo. And I don't know how many of you guys might know this, but Flavor Flav had put out a solo album back then, and it was like CD only, and so he was kind of promoting his solo album at the time. How you doing? And so after Public Enemy performed, like Chuck D and some of the other guys, they went back inside to finish signing autographs, while Flavor Flav was doing the solo performance. So while that's happening, I'm standing off to, you know, same place, and then now Professor Griff comes over there, and I'm chopping it up with him, and I got him to sign my record because he wasn't inside at the table at the time, if I remember correctly. I don't remember seeing him inside, but I remember him saying to, I don't know if he was saying it to X-Clan or to this next brother I'm about to mention, but he was saying how Flav's album was whack. He was like looking at Flav perform and just like shaking his head like, man, that music sucks. But the other brother that was there that I got to meet for the first time, I was very excited. Probably the highlight for me was of that evening, and that was DJ Johnny Juice. Now, for those of you who don't know, Johnny Juice was a Puerto Rican brother who did all of the scratching on those early Public Enemy records. It wasn't Terminator X, it was Johnny Juice. And from what I am told through different people's interviews, in the recording sessions when they were putting these records together back in the 80s, they would give, I want to say they would give 2 or 3 tries to Terminator X to do these scratches or whatever, and whatever he just couldn't pull off or didn't get right, then they would let Johnny Juice, you know, do the scratches on there. Now, if any of you guys have ever seen Johnny Juice DJ, if you've ever seen him on the turntable scratching or whatever, then you know he's mad crazy on the turntables. So you can see why he was used so much. But I never knew that. Obviously, he wasn't on the cover or on the credits of any of those albums. And I heard somewhere where, because they just wanted, a complete black cast, they didn't really put him out in front like that. Um, so it was very exciting to meet, the original scratcher to all of these, these early Public Enemy records, these songs that they did. And man, I got him to sign some vinyl for me. And like I said, I didn't even know who he was until then. I mean, I had heard of him, I had read about him, like in the previous years, of who he was and his contribution to those Public Enemy records. And for him to actually be there, wow, on that tour with them was incredible. And I do believe that DJ Lord, who a lot of people know that is their DJ now, he was their DJ back then. But for whatever reason, Lord wasn't on that tour with them, and Johnny Juice was. So that was pretty cool. So it went from a regular day of me working to me not only getting to meet Public Enemy, but to also meet and hang out with Brother Jay, to have some conversations with Brother Jay about the old days, to have some conversations with Professor Griff, and to meet DJ Johnny Juice. What an incredible day. What an incredible day. And I guess because of poor ticket sales, that concert had gotten canceled. But I'm sitting there talking to Dumper. My Phoenix people know who Dumper is. And Dumper's telling me, yo, we're trying to talk Public Enemy into coming to the Blunt Club tonight. The Blunt Club was a hip-hop night, a hip-hop weekly that they were doing at the time. And sure enough, Public Enemy performed at that event that night. Now, I didn't go to the event. I had a long day. I've seen Public Enemy perform a zillion times, and I've hung out with Chuck D before, but I was told that they performed for like 2 hours, and it was simply incredible. So, yeah, man, that was such an incredible experience to meet all of those people and to, have them sign some of my memorabilia. I think Public Enemy is, one of the most important, if not the most important group, in rap music. Notice I said important. My favorite group, Run DMC. Most important group, Public Enemy. But that's a whole nother story. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. This is Daryl D. Thanks for hanging out with me in the beautiful wilderness. I hope no bears sneak up on me or nothing like that. And I'll see you next time on Daryl D TV. Peace and love, y'all. Stay safe.